Hello, everyone. We'll just wait a minute or two for a few people to join us, and then we'll get this started. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Well, hey, good evening. Thank you for being here. My name is Doug Kraus. I'm the Environmental Programs Manager with the City of Hermosa Beach. And again, thank you for coming to this Hermosa Community Webinar, Go Green and Save Green with water and energy saving actions. This is hosted by a number of people, and we'll all introduce ourselves, and I'm going to send it over to Sean Fujioka with the South Bay Council of Governments to get us started.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Doug. Oops, my slide did not advance. There we go. All right, so hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. First, we'll just start with some housekeeping. So as you probably saw when you logged in, this webinar is being recorded and will be shared afterwards with attendees and will be posted on the City of Hermosa Beach's YouTube channel. Participant microphones have been muted automatically, but we welcome you to chat with the co-hosts and hosts with any questions that you may have during the presentation, and we will bring them up during the Q&A portion of the webinar. And also feel free to, use your little emoji reactions at any time during the meeting as well. And if you're experiencing any technical problems, please contact Mallory Schaefer. She's in the chat, so you can reach out to her, or you can reach out to the email listed on the screen. And now I will get started. So first, again, thank you for attending. The South Bay City's Council of Governments, along with everybody else here, is pleased to bring this program to you through our partnerships with the Southern California Regional Energy Network, or the SoCalREN, administered by LA County and West Basin Municipal Water District, as well as Cal Water and the City of Hermosa Beach. Now, the South Bay Cities COG is a joint powers authority of cities and LA County in the South Bay subregion, and the City of Hermosa Beach is a member. And then the COG helps agencies implement programs and projects collaboratively. The South Bay Cities COG also runs the South Bay Environmental Services Center and partners with several agencies in addition to SoCalREN and West Basin. And they include LA County Metro, LA County Sanitation Districts, the Water Replenishment District, LADWP, and Torrance Water. These partnerships allow the South Bay Cities COG to bring a comprehensive message to the South Bay community and help us better serve our cities and their residents and businesses. So now I will pass it back over to Doug.
So the agenda today, everybody, I will start off with some words about Hermosa Beach and the programs that we have in place. We will be discussing the value of energy efficiency, some of the energy actions you can do at home, which are timeless and of course timely as well, various resources for the community, and then also achieving water efficiency, which again is timeless and very timely. And then we will have a Q&A section and actually some other fun surprises. So next slide. So we want to start off here with a poll, an interactive opportunity for everyone to contribute to this conversation. And so the question is, why is it important to save water and energy? And so you see the QR code here. You can pull that up on your phone and do that interactively through the Slido app. Or I assume you can put your answers in the chat if that's more comfortable for you. But we'll give you a minute or two to throw in, why is it important to save water and energy? There's obvious answers, but there's others as well. So please have fun with it and appreciate the input. Okay. If you have a one or two last responses, throw them in here, and then we can close this up and go over it. And then this will stay live for everyone. You can keep on contributing to this if you think of anything.
Yeah, so thanks, Doug. It seems like we have some common themes here. A lot of people are emphasizing the drought, which is, yeah, that's very important, along with saving money, which definitely is a motivator for people, as well as the environment and there being limited resources. So yeah, we're going to hear about all these things also in the presentation today. So we're going to keep going.
All right, well, this is my cue again. So again, I'm the environmental programs manager for the city of Hermosa Beach. I've been here about 3 years, and I've walked into a very fine tradition of sustainability, and doing my best to keep that going and push it forward. Hermosa has been a leader in sustainability in the South Bay for a long time, way before I got here. This effort serves not only to protect our beaches and oceans, which is our obvious, natural feature and attraction to the west, but also to improve the health of our community, and set an example for regional and global environmental leadership. So what does that all say? Like I said, I mean, the ocean, of course, is the obvious, right? That's there for us. It's a huge natural area, right? We forget sometimes that is, that's the wilderness out there for us. It's our attraction, and of course, it's our identity. So protecting that is paramount, and we do that in many different ways, from preventing pollution, to keeping it clean and keeping the community clean so that it doesn't get into the ocean. And in the same time, of course, we're keeping our community clean, right? So that's the thing. Although we're protecting this big resource and this feature, keeping the community healthy and clean at the same time is kind of a double whammy of benefits there. And then simultaneously, setting an example for the region and the globe, right? And that whole, the motto of, think global, act local is not just a cliche, right? It's something we do. If we're helping cut emissions in Hermosa Beach, that's a global effect. Of course, it helps us locally, but it plays a bigger role. And then, through some of our policies and our support of larger programs and initiatives, we're showing that a little city can take a stance and make a statement on a bigger scale, towards a bigger goal. So next slide, please. So there's a sampling of some of our sustainability programs, no particular order, but the citywide organic waste recycling, I put that first because that's pretty relevant at the moment, right? We've delivered everybody a green cart this year, and we're hoping everybody quickly adapts to it, learns to use it, and uses it well, because that's organics recycling is here to stay. And so that's, a good example of something that's very timely, relevant, local, right? But also statewide and beyond. We have ambitious stormwater programs and projects, both as requirements from the state, but also to protect that ocean that we know and love here. And so we've been doing a number of projects. A lot of them are in the ground that you don't see to protect that ocean for many years. And we have many more on the books that are coming soon, both that are required and that are smart. We also have an above and beyond prohibition on single-use plastics. Again, something that is directly affects protecting that ocean, right? A paper straw is going to break down way faster than a plastic one, but also, contributes to a better quality of life for our businesses and our residents and our visitors. We have annual programs to inspect both restaurants and then also to help businesses become more sustainable. So these speak to, again, stormwater pollution prevention, but beyond. We've offered a way for businesses and restaurants to go above and beyond, get resources to help them achieve that, and be recognized for it, which is something we do annually. We have a recycled content purchasing policy. So again, kind of putting our money where our mouth is as a city. And then we have one of the largest per capita EV charging networks in the nation. We've got over 30 EV chargers in town, almost all of which are free to everyone. And what a bonus for people that visit, but also, of course, contributing to a better environment, both locally and beyond, with the emissions reductions you get from those vehicles. And so you'll notice a theme through a lot of these is that, yes, they improve sustainability, but they also, in many ways, as was mentioned in the previous activity, is they save money, both for the city, both for our residents. Almost every sustainability measure ultimately and long-term has the ability to save money and be more efficient. And so again, that kind of two-pronged feature and benefit of these activities helps make them even smarter than they already were. Next slide, please. So again, relevant to today's talk is our smart water management. We have a water conservation ordinance, which we recently had to activate in light of the drought. We've reduced potable water consumption throughout our parks and facilities, and that means, over 30 million gallons of reclaimed water is used annually to irrigate our major parks and the green belt. Interestingly, during this drought and during the recent shutdown, reclaimed water, is immune to the drought restrictions because it's already been recycled. But as a city, we did cut back just to kind of, show responsibility for that. But ultimately, using that water is, much less impactful than the potable water we would have used. We've got smart irrigation controllers throughout the city. Our public works crew can pick up their phone and turn sprinklers off and on anytime. And then, ongoing replacement of landscaping with drought tolerant and native plants is something we've been doing for years. Next slide, please. Energy efficiency, the other side of today's presentation. We've done a citywide LED streetlight retrofit. So we got rid of almost all the high pressure sodium vapor bulbs and got much more efficient LED lights throughout town. That was done a few years back, and still will forever reap the benefits, the energy savings and the cost savings on that. We've done similar upgrades throughout city buildings and facilities. We have a 50 kilowatt solar installation on our community center, which many months creates a net zero bill at the facility. And then we offer incentives for private projects and just to, encourage the residents and the private parties to do the same. Next slide. This is something I mentioned before, but our EV charging network is extensive. We've spread it throughout town as much as we can. It's mostly free to users. We have a green vehicle policy within our city fleet to electrify the fleet, and we're getting close to 100% on that. And then working with Edison currently, to continue expanding this. Looking to install maybe 20 electric vehicle chargers for city fleet. So that's just a synopsis of some of the things we have done and are doing and will continue to do. Thank you very much. And I believe I'm sending it over to Elena at this point with SoCal Ren.
Thank you, Doug. Yes, it's been so great having the city enrolled in our programs and offering our services to local leaders like yourself and just trying to do better for your city and your community. So thank you for that. But hi, everyone. My name's Elena Lee, and I'm a project manager with the SoCal Red Public Agency programs. And I just want to thank you all for spending your evening with us. We've partnered with the South Bay Cities Council of Government to help bring this event online. And I believe this is being recorded, so you'll have these resources forever. But yeah, the SoCal Red, a little bit about the program, really was created to support California reaching in the state's robust energy efficiency goals across the public, residential, and workforce sectors. So you can learn more about our portfolio programs at our website, which I'll drop in the chat here. But if we can move to the next slide, I just want to share a little bit about, how we collaborate so closely with the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Through our partnership, we've been able to provide our support in energy efficiency to not only Hermosa Beach, but also other public agencies in the region. And really any public agency that's shaded on this map in purple is eligible to receive our SoCal REM program services. So, local governments complete energy efficiency projects to optimize their facility operations and cut energy costs so that, they can better invest in their communities. Like Doug said, it's really a two-pronged approach. So, finding those energy cost savings and, redistributing the wealth to the community. So the idea of this webinar came through the city beyond benefits and saving energy, and their wish to share information with residents on how they can do the same. So if we can move on to the next slide for this next activity, I'm going to open up some poll questions. Don't worry, you won't be graded. I just want to see, a little bit about the audience's energy knowledge. So that's open. We'll leave it open for about 2 minutes. The first question is, how much do you spend on your home energy bills every month? Give it a little estimate. The second question, what's the biggest use of energy in the typical US home? How much more efficient an LED light bulb is than a regular incandescent? And then the last question, how much of California's energy use is related to moving water? So I see some responses coming in. See, a lot of you spend more than $100 on your energy bills. I'm right there with you, sadly. All right, we'll give it 10 more seconds. All right. Okay. And I'll be going over the answers throughout the presentation, but thank you everyone for participating in that. Okay, so if we can move to the next slide, I want to explain the difference between energy conservation versus energy efficiency. And really the difference is, to be energy efficient, it means that you are using methods like technology that require less energy to perform the same function. So on that previous, apologies. Apologies for that. But yeah, so if you recall on that previous slide, there was a dog sliding down a ramp. He was being energy efficient by using gravity to travel. And then conserving energy is a behavior that results in less energy usage. So simply by unplugging your electronics. So energy conservation is something that you can all put into practice immediately to save on your bills. And the benefits of saving energy, you all had some fantastic responses to that first Slido question. But yeah, to directly see, your energy costs go down. Indirectly, you can help create jobs by being more energy efficient and help stabilize energy prices. Also, being more energy efficient you can lower greenhouse gas emissions related to energy generation, and you can also support grid resiliency, so helping to reduce the overall high energy demands across the state so that our grid can stay online. And so on the next slide, so I just wanted to reflect back, like I said, a lot of you responded that you spend more than $100 on your energy bills. That is the average of Californians and how much they spend every month. So you're all right there. But yeah, how much you spend on your bills vary on a couple of factors, such as where you live in the state, the type and size of your home, the number of people living under the same roof. And these factors aren't easily changed, but some things that are within your control are your energy behaviors. And so I'll be going over some easy ways that you can incorporate those practices in your day-to-day life. On the next slide. So first, shifting your energy use from peak demand times is a great and at times necessary way to conserve energy. And over 40 million people living in California, that's a lot of people using energy every day. So energy companies sometimes can only produce a certain amount of energy at one time. So when we use more energy than energy plants can generate, that's when blackouts occur. And as we know, blackouts can be very uncomfortable and potentially dangerous to our community. So you can help the grid running. You can help keep the grid running by shifting your energy use off peak demand time. So you can do this by using large appliances like your air conditioner, heater, dishwasher, clothes washer and dryer before 4 p.m. or after 9 p.m. If we can go to the next slide, it's worth looking into renewable energy resources when trying to reduce your energy use from fossil fuels. Renewable energy comes from sources that cannot be exhausted in the foreseeable future, such as solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower. Ways that you can power your home and reduce energy use with renewables are through green rates. So the way that green rates work is by purchasing energy that comes from renewable energy sources such as solar and wind farms. And Southern California Edison and Clean Power Alliance have these types of green rates. So I would suggest looking up those websites, and it's a great option for residents who are not able to install things like solar, rooftop panels on their own roofs. Speaking of home solar, it is a great way to reduce how much money you spend on your energy bills every month. But again, the amount produced really varies depending on the size of your system and how much energy you're using. Also, energy storage is a great way to harness, say, the solar energy that you're generating, and it can be used at any time. And as electric vehicles are on the rise, more people are interested in reducing their carbon footprint, especially when they can be charged by renewable resources. So even though renewable energy doesn't run out, it's important to still not be wasteful with how you're using your energy. And on the next slide, I wanted to talk about how investing in new appliances may cost more at first, but can save you money in the long run because they tend to be more efficient than older technologies. So there's a website called Energy Star. It's run by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. and it's widely recognized and a trusted label on products that meet strict energy efficiency requirements. So they have full product lists on their website that we can share with you all. And you can also find these products pretty much at any home improvement store or where you're looking to buy home appliances. So I'll just say you don't have to switch out all of your appliances at once, but this is something to keep in mind if you're ever in the market for new ones. Let's see, there's also, if we can go back, thank you. There's also smart thermostats, and smart thermostats are becoming more and more popular as I've seen. And what they are Wi-Fi enabled devices that automatically adjust your home's heating and cooling temperatures for optimal performance. So they allow you to control your home settings even when you're not there, which is really convenient. And another benefit that they offer is that they can provide you with your energy use data so that you can, keep better track of what's going on with your home and manage your consumption better. And then the last one I'll mention is LED lights. There was a poll question about how much more efficient LEDs are compared to incandescents, and LEDs use up to 75% less energy than incandescent light bulbs. And additionally, they last up 25 times longer. So I believe the cost of LED light bulbs have decreased dramatically since they've become available, and anticipating to see those costs drive down further. Yeah, I want to encourage residents to adopt these new energy efficiency models. Utilities offer rebates and incentive programs to help offset some of those upfront purchasing costs. So let's see. So Southern California Edison and SoCal Gas, they have a lot of programs that help you save energy and costs. Take a look at their websites. First, there are several bill assistance programs such as CARE and FARA. These are income eligible programs to help with covering monthly bill costs. And there's also the Energy Assistance Fund, EAF, and that offers a one-time bill payment support for qualified families. And there's also a medical qualified program for those with someone in your home that require energy intensive medical equipment. Speaking of rebates and incentive programs where you can get money back on new energy efficient appliances, through SCE, there are rebates for electrical portable power stations, smart thermostats, also for EV purchases, and portable power generators. Both SCE and SoCal Gas have direct install and energy efficiency or energy savings assistance programs that installs free energy efficiency equipment in your home. And I will drop their website into the chat as well. Let's see. And if we can move along to the next slide, wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about some energy vampires that can help you cut energy waste. So if you don't want to spend money on new appliances, you can still take some simple actions to reduce your energy use. So energy vampires are appliances in your home that use energy even when they're not in use but are still plugged in. So those include chargers. Chargers continue to consume power even if your device is fully charged, and you can easily avoid energy waste by simply unplugging. I believe there are some animations on this slide if we want to click through. The second energy vampire are computers. For those of you like me who are working from home more often, just be aware of the power that you're using for computers or laptops, and just make sure to completely power off when you can. And then the next one is thermostats, which is another way to save money on your energy bill. There was a poll question about, what uses the most energy in your home, and I believe a lot of you got it correct. It's space heating and air conditioning, which can account up to 50% of your monthly energy usage. So you don't have to sacrifice comfort, but maybe adjusting your thermostat up to 7 to 10 degrees when it's hot from your normal setting can save you as much as 10% on your energy bills a year. And then the last one I just want to mention are appliances. So, just unplug the ones that you're not in use. Maybe think about if your coffee maker needs to be plugged in 24/7 because it is taking power and costing you money. Refrigerators on the hand, keep those plugged in, but maybe you can lessen your energy usage by managing the temperature or cleaning your refrigerator coils. So I just want to transition off to Gus Meza, who will talk about how we can, save energy by saving water. Not many of us don't, make the connection how the two relate, but it's always there, and it's important to save water. And I'll pass it over to you, Gus.
Great. Thank you, Elena. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Gus Meza. I'm the Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst for West Basin Municipal Water District. And this evening, I'll be covering information about the current drought, the water demands, and water conservation programs that are available to you. I'm going to start off with a few slides about who West Basin is. So next slide, please. So our mission at West Basin is to provide a safe and reliable supply of high quality water to the communities we serve. Next slide. West Basin is a public wholesale water agency, and we were formed back in 1947 by a vote of the people to make local water supplies more reliable. Back then, there was a lot of farming, and groundwater was being used and it was being overpumped. And so we were created to bring imported water to our local South Bay area. And in 1995, with the support of the public, we built the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility in the city of El Segundo as a way to create a new supply of reclaimed recycled water. And this year, we're celebrating our 75th anniversary. Next slide, please. We provide imported drinking water to nearly 1 million people in the 17 cities and LA County areas shown here on this map. We service from the city of Malibu all the way down to the Palos Verdes Peninsula, the beach cities, and all the cities here that you see here in color. We sell water to 8 local water retailers, including California Water Service. Next slide. West Basin, we're governed by an elected 5-member board of directors. These are publicly elected water officials, and our director, Desi Alvarez from Division 3, he represents the city of Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, and the city of Lomita on water-related issues. So these are our board of directors at West Basin. Next slide, please. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the drought. How bad is the drought? Well, we all know that the drought is pretty bad. In California, we're in the 3rd year of a drought and could be heading into a 4th year, possibly. We'll have to see how this winter goes. Currently, 98% of California is in a severe drought, and all 58 counties in California are under the state mandated drought emergency. January through June were the driest first 6 months of the year on record. Next slide. And as you can see from these maps, most of the state is now in severe and extreme drought. The map on the left was from last winter. And as we know, this summer was very hot and dry. And even now, during the fall, it's been pretty warm. But I am glad to see that we did get a little bit of rain this morning, or maybe it was more of a drizzle, but we got something. But we need a lot more of that. Next slide, please. This map just zeroes in a little bit more on the LA County area. You can see there on the right, there's a little black box kind of where we're at, the South Bay area. It's kind of hard to see, but it looks like most of the South Bay area is mostly in the severe drought category. Next slide. And unfortunately, after several years of drought, our imported water supply reservoirs have suffered, greatly. These are the key reservoirs that provide imported drinking water to Southern California. Lake Oroville, which is located north of Sacramento, is down 40% of capacity. It sends water to us through the state water project aqueduct. Lake Powell in northern Arizona is at 25% of capacity, and it feeds Lake Mead. And Lake Mead in Nevada is only at 27% of capacity. So the Metropolitan Water District, they rely on these reservoirs to store and bring water to us here in Southern California, to the South Bay area. MWD gets about 30% of their water from Northern California and 25% from the Colorado River system. And the remaining 45% comes from our local stormwater, groundwater, and recycled water projects. So roughly 55% of our water is imported from these reservoirs here, which are very low. Next slide. Due to the low water reservoir storage conditions, California's emergency drought regulations went into effect back in June, on June 10th. All the water retailers are required to implement level 2 of their water shortage contingency plans and to reduce their water use. Also, as part of that emergency regulation, they've restricted outdoor watering of what's called non-functional turf in the commercial, industrial, and institutional sectors. Non-functional turf, that it's purely decorative. You've seen it, at office spaces, office parks, street medians, HOAs, housing developments. So it has no purpose for sports or, or other uses. So that's why they're banning the use of water, potable drinking water, on those non-functional turf areas. But as Doug mentioned earlier, recycled water, reclaimed water is excluded from that because that is treated sewer water that's being reused again. So that's all water conservation. Next slide, please. However, there is some good news. Water demand in the West Basin service area has been dropping since 1990. As you can see here from this graph, annual potable drinking water demand has decreased by approximately 70,000 acre feet since 1990. And in the water world, we measure large quantities of water in acre feet. So if you can picture a football field with 1 foot high of water, that's one acre foot of water. So we're talking about 70,000 football fields of water that have been conserved over this time. So that's great news. Due to changes in the plumbing codes, more efficient devices, many of us, most of us, hopefully all of us, have installed the high efficiency toilets, maybe have a high efficiency clothes washer, maybe removed your grass and put in native plants. So all these efforts have contributed. We building the water recycling facility, partnering with the city of Hermosa Beach and California Water Service in using recycled water. All that has helped to drive the demand down over time. Next slide, please. And locally, this graph shows how annual water use, the blue bars, has dropped in the Hermosa Redondo area since the year 2000. As I mentioned, recycled water, you can see there the purple line, that the use of reclaimed and recycled water, we call it both. We used to call it reclaimed water, and so now we call it recycled water. So we use both terms. So I usually use recycled water, but as you can see here, working with the city and California Water Service, we've been able to provide more recycled water to street medians, parks, and other areas, helping to conserve the potable drinking water which is very limited, as you saw from those reservoir photos. Next slide. This is my last graph. So as an individual basis, this is the gallons per person per day. This is the amount of water we use daily. It's dropped from 100 gallons per day in 2014 to around 75 gallons per day back in June. So you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. So around 40 to 50 gallons is used daily inside the home per person, you know, for bathing, cooking, toilet flushing, clothes washing, and around 25%, 25 gallons on average is used outdoor for irrigation. So this is also very good news that our individual consumption has been dropping as well. Next slide. Now I'm going to talk about the water conservation programs that are available to you from West Basin. And then I'm going to be handing this presentation over to Tammy Myers here in a bit. She's with California Water Service, and she'll be talking about the conservation programs that are offered by Cal Water, your local water retailer. Next slide. So during this last summer, we launched a new campaign called Super Cali Frugalistic to bring attention to the drought and for us to be more frugal with our water use. So next slide. At West Basin, you may have heard about this program. We provide free rain barrels and free landscape classes. And we have a lot of other programs that we offer that you can-
You show me as a participant.
That you can look. Oh, okay, they went on mute, it looks like. Thank you. So yeah, if you visit our website, you can find out more information about our other programs. Next slide. I do want to focus on the Rain Barrel program. Residents can receive up to 2 free rain barrels. We're very excited to restart these in-person events. Recently, we've been partnering with local high schools to provide these free rain barrels, and you can register by coming to our website, as you can see here, or using that QR code as well. So due to the drought and the water restrictions, this program is very popular. We have a lot of people signing up to get their free rain barrels. So if you don't have rain barrels yet, please sign up to get your free rain barrels. You can see here, the next event is going to be in a couple of weeks nearby. It's going to be at Redondo Union High School, one of your neighboring cities there. As we show in the map, we have 17 cities, so we rotate through the different cities. But you're welcome to attend any of these remaining 3 events. Next slide. We also offer free classes and tours of our Edwards C. Little Water Recycling Facility, where you can tour and see how we create the recycled water. You can visit our website. You can go to the Water Lab section of our website to learn more about our classes that we offer and attend one of our future tours. Next slide. And the Metropolitan Water District, they also provide free landscape classes. So if you're interested in learning more about native plants, how to remove turf, how to design a native plant garden, a California-friendly garden, you can go to the website here, bewaterwise.com, and you could sign up for one of their free classes. Next slide. And lastly, we're very excited to bring this event back. It's our water harvest. It's our annual event. It's going to be in person at our Edwards C. Little Water Recycling Facility. You're all welcome to join us. It's a great family fun event, and you can also tour the facility. We provide short tours of the water recycling facility. So it's coming up in a couple of weeks here, less than a couple of weeks, on Saturday, October 22nd. It's free. You don't need to register. You can just come to the event. There's prizes. There's an opportunity drawing. The grand prize this year is a high efficiency clothes washer and dryer. So that's a nice grand prize. So, you know, come over and try to win that if you need one of those. So we're very happy to bring this back. It's been a few years since we've had this event in person, so very excited about that. Next slide. And then here are some conservation websites. We can learn more about conservation programs from West Basin, from California Water Service. Metropolitan Water District has programs, and SoCal Water Smart if you're interested in rebates for other devices as well. Next slide. And I want to thank you very much. That was my last slide, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce Tammy Myers, who's the interim lead conservation coordinator for California Water Service, your local water provider. So thank you again. Tammy, you're up.
Great. Thank you, Gus. I greatly appreciate that. I don't even need to introduce myself now. You did a great job. Good evening, everyone. So as Gus had mentioned, my name is Tammy Myers, and I am the interim lead conservation coordinator for California Water Service. Next slide, please. And so what I'd like to do is just go over some brief information as to who we are, and then we'll also go over the current prohibited uses of water, as well as our conservation resources and rebates that are available to you as our customers. So as you can see here on this map shows the areas that's within our what we call our Rancho Dominguez areas. And we have a total of 5 systems that's in this particular area. With those systems, one of them is in operations and maintenance, which is our Hawthorne, but as you can see in the green, that is going to be our Hermosa Redondo system. As you can see as well that our Hermosa Redondo system is included as one versus it being one or the other. With that, we were established in 1926. We are the largest water utility regulated by the California Public Utilities Commission. Cal Water provides water services to nearly 2 million residents. Also provides drinking water to residents and businesses to most of the South Bay. I will say that our water supplies, our purchased water is about 94% of our water supply. Our groundwater wells is about 4%, and our recycled water is about 2% of our total water supplies. And as you can see in Hermosa Beach, we serve a combination of purchased water, groundwater, and recycled water as well. Next slide, please. So what I'd like to do is be able to highlight where we are as far as a community and where we are with meeting the reductions that was set by the emergency regulations back in July. And as you can see here from the reduction used from the 2020 set goal, we are, as in August, we were at 10% meeting that reduction. So we were just a little shy of the 15%. However, as you can see, as time was getting, or I should say the weather is getting warmer, and yet the reduction is still staying at a great level. So you guys are really doing your part. We really like to thank our customers and the communities for, taking the time to actually, take action when it's called and when it's needed. Next slide, please. So I'm sure you've all heard these before. I won't go over all of them, but it is a great reminder for people to understand what the prohibited water uses are. Irrigating your landscape on non-restricted days, as well as having runoff that's occurring to adjacent properties, walkways, roadways, parking lots and structures like that. All of those are prohibited uses, as well as any watering of landscape during or within 48 hours of substantial rainfall. I would only hope that would happen soon. I know we've had a few drizzles here and there the last 2 days. I'm hoping for more, but the other thing is also to make sure that customers are, looking at their irrigation systems and looking at their properties to identify any types of leaks or concerns, as well as making sure that your irrigation is being watered or your landscape is being watered during the hours of 8 a.m. and restricted from watering from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. For information on additional prohibited water uses, you can go to our www.calwater.com/drought website. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, we are in a stage 2 of our water shortage contingency plan. And what that means is that we are now down to a 2 days a week watering schedule within our service areas. A lot of these are all aligned with the city of Hermosa as well, and what the watering schedule is. So if you have an odd number address, it's going to be Tuesday and Saturday is going to be your watering days. If you have an even number address, it's going to be Wednesday and Sunday. If you live in a community where there is no specific number addressed, then the days of watering would be Wednesday and Sunday. Next slide, please. So for our commercial and our business communities, we have some really cool new table tents that are available for free that will be able to notify your customers of the particular restrictions that have to do with your particular retail. So if you are a hotel, motel, have any type of maybe Airbnb and so forth, you can put up the tent that we'll provide to you for your customers to allow them the option of choosing not to have their towels and linens laundered, as well as our restaurant establishments being able to provide a tent that lets people be notified that, you know, drinking water may not be served other than upon request in any drinking or eating establishment. So those items are available free to our customers. So you can submit an email request to conservation@calwater.com. Let us know how many that you're needing, and we will go ahead and get those sent out to you directly. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as Gus had mentioned, we have several rebates that are available to help incentivize changing out some of those high water wasting type devices that maybe you may not always think about that may have a potential leak. One common leak is the toilet. If you need to jiggle it and jiggle the handle and you hear the water running, that can lead up to a substantial amount of water over time. So we are offering rebates for our toilets, clothes washers, for changing out your irrigation controller. You may have an old dial-out type controller. We now have smart irrigation controllers that will allow you to function directly from your phone, your computer, as well as being able to preset specifics to your particular landscape. And then we also have a few other programs I'll go into a little bit more detail with. It's our lawn to garden and our spray to drip. But I would like to highlight that recently, very recently, we've actually increased some of our rebates to be able to really send a message as far as with the way the drought's going and being able to really incentivize with the extreme high cost of devices these days. So for clothes washers, we're actually offering a $600 rebate as long as it's within our qualified products list. And I will say that the Environmental Protection Agency that offers that Energy Star and as well as the high efficiency tag on it, those are the devices that we actually incentivize. So we are aligned as well as with the energy companies with having the Energy Star and EPA Water Sense label on our devices. Next slide, please. So one of the ones that I mentioned just a few moments ago is our Lawn to Garden, our Spray to Drip program. This program offers a $3 per square foot of turf area that's removed for residential and commercial properties. If you have a residential property, it's up to 1,500 square feet that would be applied to this. And if you are a commercial, which would mean public authority, it could be city, it could be a church, it could be just a business center, you could get $3 per square foot for up to 10,000 square feet of turf that's removed. One of the requirements of the program is that you do install 50% of the area needs to be converted to a drought tolerant landscape. And then we have also added a rebate for changing out the overhead spray irrigation to a drip system, which allows for the irrigation to be directed directly to the new plant material versus the overspray, as well as being able to meet the requirement over a longer period of time and not needing to necessarily have the concerns of watering on the wrong days, as well as overspray and runoff as well. Next slide, please. So Cal Water, I will happily say, has gone above and beyond with looking for innovative opportunities to be able to help reduce water loss, as well as being able to help our customers identify where there's potential leaks on their properties. One of the things that Gus had mentioned is that, most of the water that's used on a particular property is going to be outdoors. And if people are not aware of what their current irrigation system is doing, or leaks or breaks that are out there, that could be a lot of water that's actually being wasted. So we have this program that's been developed where we will send out an evaluator that will come out, take a look at your irrigation, look at the timer, see where there's inefficiencies and opportunities for improvement. They'll also repair drip lines if you have any drip lines that need to be repaired, as well as replacing the spray bodies if you have some broken spray bodies and or irrigation valves that need to be looked at. All of this program is free to our customers. So all you have to do is go to calwater.com/tuneup. Just fill out the form and the information, and then you will be getting a contact from one of the contractors to come out, do that evaluation. Once they've done the evaluation, they will submit any recommendations to Cal Water for approval, and then they will then come back with a approved device depending on what the circumstance is, and then they'll do the installation for free. Like I said, this is a very popular program. We're getting a lot of traction with this, but it's generally an opportunity for people to just have a better understanding of what is on their property and how they can be more efficient with the water that they're using for their landscape. Next slide, please. And as always, we have our free conservation kits. I know that we always kind of tend to put this out there, but a lot of people forget that all of the items that are in these boxes are all water efficient, as well as they help with the everyday use of your everyday activities within the home. So we provide 2 high efficiency shower heads, leak detection tablets for your toilet, be able to see whether there's a leak between the tank and the bowl, 1 garden hose nozzle. And as you know, that to water your plants outside without a shutoff nozzle is prohibited use. So we provide that nozzle to you, as well as a high efficiency kitchen faucet aerator. Next slide, please. Excuse me. So in lines with this particular webinar, saving water, saving energy, and it saves dollars. So water utilities use power for pumping, boosting, and treating distribution water throughout the system. I know everybody kind of already mentioned that, but one of the things that we just kind of wanted to highlight a little bit is that the lower per capita water demand reduces the operating costs. So the less water that the less demand that our customers are asking for or are requiring, that also reduces the amount of energy that we are needing to do to get those water supplies to our customers. There are avoided operation expenses and deferred capital expenses resulting from conservation investments. And we also have, there's a draft report analyze the effect on conservation programs on the cost of water service. So 2 of the districts similar to Hermosa, and their average water use showed savings of 15 to 19.9% on customer bills as a result of avoided costs realized through water conservation. So it is definitely an initiative to help with our energy as well as the conservation needs and being able to keep that supply available for our customers. Next slide, please. So this is an overview of our 2021 conservation report. Every year, what we do is we gather all of the information from all of the programs that our customers have participated in your specific district. This gives you an overview of the total gallons that have been saved just by doing the simple replacements of devices. So in 2021, 1.3 million gallons saved with purchases of clothes washers. Even if you look at the lifetime savings just from the conservation kits, it's 10.7 million gallons. Excuse me. And then the accumulative lifetime savings of our programs is 1.5 billion gallons. So every program that we have obviously has a cost savings or a water savings matrix with it. And so the more that we're able to incentivize to get our customers to be able to think more efficiently with their everyday uses, all of this all builds up as over time for an overall conservation report and savings as we move to the future. Next slide, please. So we have some additional resources that's available for our customers. You can go to our website. There we have facts and tip sheets that will give you lots of information on ways to save water, whether it's indoors, outdoors, even just being able to look at potential opportunities for changing out your lawn. We do send out direct informational mailings. We have customer outreach. We'll go out to community events, as well as we do speak at several different city and community events to be able to really reach out to our customers and answer those questions as to, how they can help with saving water and what we can do to help incentivize when there's the ability to do so. And then we also have our social media posts that we are always pushing out to make sure that our customers are aware of the programs that we have currently, as well as the current drought situation as it gets updated. So you can always go to our calwater.com/conservation. That will have all of the information with our resources, as well as all of our rebates that are available. And then if you would like specific information about the drought, we have a dedicated site that we just launched, which is our drought.calwater.com. And we also have that in English and Spanish. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'll turn it back to you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. So as I said in the chat earlier, for anybody who's been watching the chat, we have one last word cloud for you all, if I can navigate to it. So real quickly, I know we're at time. How will you take energy and water actions in your own life? Couple words like, I know for me, I have like a little like power strip. So for me, it's turning off the power strip at the end of my workday. That's kind of what I do. It has like my computer plugs in it, so it just like shuts everything off in one go. And also, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to chat them now to any of us co-hosts or hosts, and we can bring them up in just a minute or so. Yeah, get a rain barrel. That's a very good one to do. We have the next event coming up on October 29th. So 5-minute showers, unplugging a lot of different things. Oh, I like how somebody else agrees with my power strip one. And drought tolerant plants. Yeah, these are all great. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad everybody learned something from today's webinar. So now I'm going to, we're now at our drawing stage, so I'm going to stop sharing real quick and give Dakota screen sharing abilities. All right. Oh, I should mention, so the prize drawing today is for 3 Yetis and 3 compost bins. So we're going to start off with our Yetis, provided graciously by Cal Water. We have Patty Ellis. You are our first winner.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Patty.
Thank you.
All right, and then our second Yeti is going to Scott Hayes. Congratulations, Scott, and everybody. The email that you registered will be reaching out to you via that email, but you can pick up your prizes at the Hermosa Beach City Hall.
Thank you.
And then Salim Ahmed, I hope I said the name right. You are our last Yeti winner of the night. And now we're getting to our compost kits. And these are provided by the city of Hermosa Beach. We have Greg Lynch, our first compost kit winner. All right, and our next one, Larry, I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher your last name, but congratulations, Larry. All right, and this is our last winner of the night. Here we go. We have Andrea Valcourt. You're our final winner of the night. Congratulations.
So I guess I'll add, if you did win the compost kit, you can contact me and or come down to Public Works counter and we'll get you your stuff in City Hall.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Doug. All right, for anyone, any of our hosts, do we have any questions that people have dropped in the chat for you?
I have one. This is from Barbara. What incentives are there for attic installations to decrease energy use? I don't know if anyone has any ideas on that, but if we do, that would be great.
I don't have the answer for that, but I'm doing a quick Google search on SCE's website.
All right, I
Yeah.
think while Elena searches for that, Elena, have you found it?
Nothing is popping up immediately for attic insulation.
All right, well, we can, Mallory, whoever the person was, we can get back to them afterwards if we find the information later. We can reply to your email that you registered. Do we have, Mallory, did you have any other questions on your end?
Nope, that was all for me.
Oh, there is another question in there. If you get a rain barrel, how does that help the garden wet? So how do you use the water?
I can take that question. Who asked that question, Dakota?
Andrea Valcourt?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. Yeah, each rain barrel holds about 50 gallons of rainwater. So you can get up to 2 rain barrels and you can set those up at your home with the rain gutters. So when it rains, the water will go into the rain barrels. And then you can use that water, to irrigate your plants in gardens. So you don't have to use the potable water. You're actually you're using the rainwater. So you're conserving potable water. So I hope that answers your question.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Doug. I think we have time for maybe one more question. Does anybody else have any questions from the chat? I'll just give it like a minute. All right, well, if we don't have any other questions, please stop me if there's one that popped up right now. Then I think that marks the end of our event. So thank you so much for coming, everybody. We'll be posting the recording later on the Hermosa Beach YouTube page, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's
Bye,
one more
everyone.
question.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Dakota.
What happened, Dakota?
There's one more question on here. How long does the water last? That's from Andrea. And then from Gloria, how do we use our washing machine water?
Okay, the water, as long as there's no like direct sunlight on there, Andrea, it should last, quite a while, but I would recommend, using the water when you can to irrigate your plants. You don't want algae like building up if the water's in there too long. So I don't have an exact time period, but I would say try to use the water within a month or sooner. And then the water from the washing machine. What was the question there, Dakota?
How do we use our washing machine water?
Well, I know with like Tammy's rebates on that high efficiency clothes washers. Yeah, that's a great rebate, Tammy. $600. Wow, you beat my rebate, which
Go change out your old washers.
that's awesome. I know the old top loading washers, those use anywhere from 30 to 40 gallons per load. And these new ones use about 15 to 20 gallons per load. And there is information on our website at westbasin.org about laundry to landscape systems. We used to teach classes, teach residents how they can actually pipe the water, because when you do laundry, the water goes into the sewer, right? So there are companies that can install like a three-way valve. So instead of the water going into the sewer, it goes out into your landscape for your trees and plants. It's called gray water. And they sell special soap at Trader Joe's and other places, biodegradable soaps that won't harm your trees and plants. So you can actually use the clothes washer water, for your trees and plants. It's called Laundry to Landscape. And you can find more. If there's a website, there's an organization called Gray Water Action. So if you Google that, you can learn a lot more about laundry to landscape. So I hope I answered your question there.
All right, well, that marks the end of our webinar. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Night.